what can you say about what a phoneme is or what an allophone is?
Actually, I missed the last class, so I am a little bit lost.
Okay, okay. Who else missed the last session? Who else was not present during last session?
Me, Ignacio
Who's
Sandoval.
me? Ignacio Sandoval.
Yeah, because of the schedule crush.
Okay, how do you fix that? Is that already fixed or
I sent an email and the email is there. There is no answer.
unanswered?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna try to send another email, but I remember that we had a conversation in the last class, the last Monday. So you say that maybe I have to wait to the next 20. I don't remember.
Look, I can add you manually in the LMS so you can have access to all the resources that are going to be in the LMS. That's one thing, and the other thing is you can meet here with us in this during these sessions. So meanwhile everything gets fixed, you can attend virtually the sessions, and also you're going to have access to the LMS. Do you have access to the LMS, by the way?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, good, 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 good. So meanwhile,
I
let's
have
keep it
I have
rolling. Yes.
another question.
Mhm.
Do you record the classes?
I tend to forget. For example, now I remembered and I started recording the session, but I sometimes forget to do it. So if that's the case, please, if someone reminds me of recording the sessions, that would be wonderful. Because I'm supposed to do it, and now I'm doing it. Okay, but
Okay.
for next sessions, just let me know if you remember. All right?
Right. Thank you, Ignacio.
Okay. Um, So a couple of concepts are very important when you are studying an introduction to phonetics and phonology, particularly the English phonology. Um, one of the concepts is to understand what phonology deals with, which is the scientific study of sounds, particularly the way they are produced, the way they are perceived, and the way that these sound waves travel through the air and reach the listener, which is what's covered by the articulatory phonetics, and then the acoustic phonetics, and finally the auditory phonetics. So that's something that anyone taking an introduction to phonetics and phonology has to be clear about. The other concepts, among others, are the concepts of phoneme and allophone. That's why I was asking you, I asked Guillermo about a phoneme, which is the unit sound, sorry, the sound or sound unit that is the smallest one. So you can say that it's the smallest contrastive sound unit. And the phonemes take part of a speech. For example, when someone is talking, is actually producing sound after sound, sound after sound. Even when you say sound, you're placing the diphthong ow, then and d together. Ow, d. And you put it together in a string very quickly, and then you get sound. And you put that word into a string of words, like a sentence, right? Like you put the sound, the word sound in a sentence. You put the word sound in a sentence. And that's basically a series of individual sounds put together, right? And then allophones are a different variety of a sound, a different realization of a sound. For example, in Spanish, when you think about the word song, you say canción, but then in some areas in Spain they say canción and canción. If you focus on the only a different sound, sion, right? That and I mean, if you listen to the two words, you can identify that there's one sound that is different. Still, the meaning does not change. If you hear a Spanish person saying canción and a Chilean person saying canción, you basically understand exactly the same. So in this context, and s are allophones. Okay, probably allophones of the sound s, right? So you can say canción and canción, and you understand the same. The same thing in Spanish with the phonemes sh and ch. They are allophones because when you use them, the word does not change its meaning. So you say Chile and Chile, and basically it's exactly the same meaning. You understand that the initial sound is different. Still, it doesn't change the meaning of the word. So yo vivo en Chile, yo soy de Chile, yo soy de Chile. Ch and sh are allophones in Spanish. Whereas in English, if you say show and you say cho, if you say an extreme example, if you say chit and you say shit, right? It's going to be something completely different, right? And in this case, sh and ch in English, they are two different phonemes, not allophones, because when you put them in similar contexts, they change the meaning of the word. Okay, so those are two concepts that are important. And also, another couple of concepts that are very important in an introduction to phonetics and phonology are the concepts of accent and dialect. Some people say, "Oh, that's a different dialect." Other people say, "Oh, that's a different accent." So an accent is smaller, right? Small, and dialect is bigger. Accent refers to sounds, to the way that people sound, right, when they speak. And a dialect includes the accent, but also it includes the vocabulary, the grammar, the word order. So accent is a small part of a bigger concept, which is dialect. So, for example, when people have different dialects, they sound differently, right? They have a different grammar. Sometimes they have a different vocabulary. Sometimes they have a different syntax. But when you say these people have different accent, they only sound different, but they may have the same vocabulary, the same grammar, right? But the way that they sound, the way we perceive them with our ears is different. So those two concepts are also important. When you say two dialects, you're basically saying, okay, this is one language, for example, Spanish, and there are some people who speak Spanish in Peru, so that's a different dialect. In Chile, different dialect. We not only sound different, we have a different accent, but also we use different terms, a different vocabulary to refer to sometimes the same daily life objects. Okay, so that's also important to remember the concepts of dialect and accent. And accent refers to only the way we speak in terms of the sounds that we produce, the way we sound. And a dialect, it includes the accent, but also grammar, I don't know, word order or syntax, vocabulary, right? Like different words we use. Exactly. Okay. The class we'll focus in the initial part on vowel sounds in English. The point of focusing on the vowel sounds is that because in Spanish we have 5 vowel sounds: a, e, I, o, u, and in English there are about 12 vowel sounds. So 5 versus 12. It's not fair, right? It's not fair. But anyway, what else can we do about that? So we're going to focus on these 12 vowel sounds. We're going to become familiar with them. We're going to describe them. Yes, describe these vowel sounds in terms of some criteria, some elements that we're going to use to describe specific features or specific qualities of these vowel sounds. Okay, there was a diagram or quadrilateral created by Daniel Jones at some several years ago, decades ago, that sort of represents the mouth. If you look at the mouth from one side, you will see that it's a sort of recreation of a mouth, of an oral cavity. And I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to share a PowerPoint presentation, and then I'm going to tell you in which way or which features we're going to use to describe these vowel sounds. Okay, which criteria we are going to use to describe the vowel sounds. Okay, so I'm going to share this PowerPoint with you. Allow me 20 seconds to find it. Someone is welding. Okay. The one thing to know when we are talking about phonetics and the way that sounds are produced is to start knowing some of the articulators that are used to produce these sounds. So let's start with the lips, which are right here. Very open for anyone to see them. Lips, the first thing you see when someone is speaking. Lips, the upper and the lower teeth, right? The upper and the lower teeth. Sorry. So that would be the upper, and this one would be the lower, or the bottom. Upper and lower teeth, sorry, lips. And then we have the teeth here. The teeth here, the upper teeth and the lower teeth. The upper and the lower teeth. Okay. If we enter the oral cavity, which is the right here, the oral cavity, we have the tongue, right? T-O-N, G, I believe, is followed by a U and then an E. So we say tongue, tongue, not tongue, tongue. And in the tongue, we have the tip of the tongue, the center area, and the back, right? The tip of the tongue, the center area, and the back. Okay, and we're sort of dividing the tongue because sometimes when you produce a sound like s, you use the tip of the tongue over here in the alveolar ridge, right? S. But when you say ch, 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 as in church, you use the center area of the tongue pressed against the hard palate, hard palate. But when you say, for example, car, car, you produce the initial sound of card, you actually press the back part of the tongue, the back of the tongue, against the velum, also called soft palate, soft palate, okay? Okay, so we started with the lips, the upper and lower lips, then the upper and lower teeth, then the tongue divided into the tip of the tongue, the center, and the back. Now, we also made reference to this area, which is the roof of the mouth, the roof, as ROOF. So in the roof of the mouth, we can see this area, which is the alveolar ridge, right? Alveolar ridge. So if you say dado, dia, dedo in Spanish, dado, dedo, dio, dina, dana, dédalo, probably you put the tip of the tongue behind your upper teeth. Dia, dado, dinero, duda, dominio. Okay, so you place the tip of the tongue behind the upper teeth, probably. Maybe a little bit lower, maybe over here, but basically behind the upper teeth. When you say in English, date, dance, doctor, deuce, dim, probably you need to place the tip of the tongue a little bit higher in the alveolar ridge. Okay, right behind the upper teeth, up there in this area, ridge. Okay, so when you say t as in 10, when you say s as in song, when you say as in no, you place the tip of the tongue in the alveolar ridge, all right? Now, when you produce a sound like ch, as in church, or a sound like g, as in jeans or Jane, okay? You put the center of the tongue and you press the hard palate to produce sounds like change, church, chimney, chuck, jeans, Jane, Gemini, okay? So that's the center of the tongue in the hard palate. Now this area is called velum. And some people call it also soft. Sorry about the the writing. Soft palate, just like this one. Okay, soft palate. And this dangling thing that we call in Spanish, I don't know how do you call it. How do we call it in Spanish? I always call it campana, right at the back. So it's called in English uvula, and this uvula is basically a dangling organ here, whose mission is to block the passage of air through the nasal cavity. Okay, so this uvula can be up, blocking the airstream, or down, letting the airstream go through the nasal cavity. So when this uvula is down, some of the airstream goes through the nasal cavity, as when you say, for example, the last sound of song, and you get some airstream. If you say the word song and you touch your nose, song, you can feel a certain vibration in your nose. Song, When you say no, that's also a nasal sound. Okay? When you say as in mother, there's also some air stream that goes through the nasal cavity. So those are called nasal sounds, right? The rest of the sounds are called oral sounds. So we have oral sounds and nasal sounds, okay? In order to make an oral sound, or to produce an oral sound, the uvula has to be up, blocking the air, or blocking the passage of airstream, right? So this epiglottis has to do with also blocking the air, right, and the food, right? That's connected with that. I would like to focus on this vocal folds, also called vocal cords. Either is right, either is correct. Sorry, that's an R. Very lousy R. Vocal cords or vocal folds. The thing is this, this membranes, right? These organ is basically in charge of vibrating. So when there is vibration of the vocal folds, we talk about voiced sounds, right? So voiced sounds is when the vocal folds or vocal cords, cords vibrate. Vibrate, okay? They vibrate very quickly when someone speaks with a high, very high pitch, like someone like a female voice, or someone who is doing if someone say, there's a very, very rapid, quick vibration of the vocal folds. When someone says, oh, then the vocal folds are also vibrating, but slowly, all right? When there's a low pitch sound, a low pitch voice, the vibration goes slower. When it's a high pitch voice or sound, the vibration is quicker. So the opposite of voiced is voiceless. 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 And then we have an S and another S. Voiceless. So when we have a voiceless sound, there's no vibration. Try the sound S. If you put your hand and you touch the throat, if you touch your throat while you are producing S, you probably are not going to perceive a vibration, right? So S is a voiceless sound. And if you produce Z, you're going to feel some vibration if you produce the sound and you touch your throat, Zzz, right? So that's going to be called a voiced sound. Voiced when there is vibration of the vocal folds. Voiceless when there's not vibration of the vocal folds. Okay, because when you produce s and z, basically your tongue is touching the alveolar ridge, and it's exactly the same position. The only thing that changes is that when you produced s, there's no vibration. When you say z, there is vibration. We're going to go back to these two concepts, voiced and voiceless, when we talk about consonant sounds, okay? Now, I was saying that this is essential to learn because we're going to be describing how vowel sounds and consonant sounds are produced. Therefore, it's very important to know these articulators to understand that some of them are active articulators and some of them are passive articulators. A hint, for example, one active articulator would be the tongue, and one passive articulator would be the alveolar ridge, right? Okay, going back to vowel sounds. I'm going to show you some let's see. Right here. But I want you to tell me if you can see this presentation. Can you see this slide?
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
mister. Now we can.
Okay, thank you. So this is what people call people who are into linguistics, right? People who study phonetics. I don't know, English phonology. Some people call it a vowel quadrilateral, or a vowel diagram, or vowel chart. Okay, and it's a good representation. It's not a perfect representation of how vowel sounds are produced. To understand this, first we're going to learn some concepts. For example, front, central, and back refer to how further the tongue is and how back the tongue is. For example, if you say e and then you go to oo, go ew, 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 ew. Okay, it's fun. Try it. It's like you know, whenever you feel stressed, you can try ew, ew. It's a good therapy. Okay, so when you produce e, your tongue is closer to the teeth. When you produce oo, your tongue goes back. Am I crazy, or is that the way you should perceive it? E is to the front, in a front position. Oo is not in the same position, definitely, right? Is at the back of your mouth. Okay, so the first criterion is the position of the tongue. The position of the tongue can be front, if it's in this area, right? Closer to, imagine that the teeth are here in this area, okay? And over here is the uvula, okay? So E is a front vowel sound. U is a back vowel sound. And the sounds that are over here are called central vowel sounds, okay? So that's the first criteria. I hope you write it down. Position of the tongue. The position of the tongue can be front, central, or back. This refers to the place where the tongue is, particularly if it's near the teeth, in a center position, or at the back of the oral cavity. Okay. The second criterion is the height. Height. Okay. The height, which in Spanish means altura. So height refers to how high the tongue is if it's near the roof of the oral cavity, or is at the bottom of the oral cavity. Okay, so a vowel sound can be a high vowel sound, a mid vowel sound, or a low vowel sound. High, mid, low. If it's near the roof of the oral cavity, it's going to be a high vowel. If it's at the bottom, it's going to be a low vowel sound. For example, let's compare these two. With this one, you say E, E, E. So the tongue is like up here near the roof of the mouth, and we say A, 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 A. That's a low, definitely a low vowel sound, because the tongue is at the bottom of the mouth. A, A, as when you say cat, 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 right? Pat, that. So that's a low vowel sound, whereas E is a high vowel sound, okay? So far, two criteria. First one, position of the tongue. Second one, height. For those of you who don't know how to spell height, it's right here. Okay, height. Position of the tongue. Okay, so far we have covered position of the tongue and we have covered height. Okay, now another criterion that we can use to describe vowel sounds is how tense the lips are when you produce the sounds. How tense. If they are tense, we are going to say that that's a tense vowel. And if the lips are not tense, it's going to be considered a lax vowel. Okay. This rectangle is very useful if you think of the following. The tense vowels are in the white area. The lax vowels are in the gray area. So all of the symbols here represent a sound, right? A vowel sound. The ones in the gray area are considered lax. The ones in the white area are considered tense. For example, let's focus on this one. E, E. Your lips are very tense because you are as if you were smiling. E, so very tense. So that's considered a tense vowel. E. The same thing when you produce oo, oo. Your lips are tense. Ooh, are tense because you are shaping your lips to produce a circle. Ooh, a perfect circle, almost a perfect circle. And when you produce E, E, your lips are also tense. Okay? Now, when you're saying I, that is a lax vowel, definitely a lax vowel. Okay? When you say cat, that is a lax vowel. Okay? Because your lips are not tense when you're producing the sound. Okay? So far, we have talked about position of the tongue, height, and tenseness or tension. When you talk about tenseness or tension of the lips, you can say that the lips are spread, lax, or neutral. Neutral, okay? The fourth concept is lip rounding. Lip rounding. Basically meaning if the lips are rounded, like in a shape of an O, or unrounded with any other shape. So this, yeah, it's like a dotted square, right? Yeah. This square contains the symbols for the round vowel sounds. So anything that sounds like an ooh, ooh, oh, right? It's going to be considered a rounded vowel. Rounded vowel, because your lips are shaped into a circle. But the rest of the vowel sounds are going to be considered unrounded. So when we talk about lip rounding, we're going to use two concepts. It's either rounded or unrounded. How many rounded sounds, how many rounded vowel sounds are there? 4. The rest, all of them unrounded, okay? All of them unrounded. And the last concept that we need to discuss is length. So the vowel sound is either short or long. So one thing I'm going to show you is another PowerPoint, so maybe to clarify this. Sorry. So I'm showing you another vowel quadrilateral or a vowel chart or a vowel diagram. And this might be more helpful. Can you see this PowerPoint slide? It has the word front and the word back, and only that. And close and open. Can you see this?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm showing you this because I think it's easier to identify the long vowel sounds and the short vowel sounds. The long vowel sounds, right, contain or include this column, what we call in Spanish dos puntos. So E is a long vowel sound, U is a long vowel sound, as in first, girl, world, is a long sound. O is a long sound, and a is a long sound as well. Okay, so we have only 5 long vowel sounds, and it's very easy to identify them because of the colon, right, that we use to state very clearly, hey, this is a long vowel sound, okay? E, oo, o, ah, okay? So the rest are short vowel sounds, okay? So can we have a quiz now? Not yet?
Mister, I have a little question.
Yeah, go for it, please.
I was noticed in the PowerPoint there is a 5 vowel inventory that you have in the PowerPoint that you upload to the LMS, and there is the Spanish vowels. Are those the English long vowels are the same vowels that we have in Spanish?
No,
Are totally different.
not totally different, but there are some features that are not equivalent. They are not exactly, they're not exact match. There are
Okay.
some aspects that are similar, but they're not exactly the same.
Okay, I got it. Thank you very much.
Okay. No. It's an excellent question because sorry. We could say that in Spanish, E is high in front, but probably the English E would be a little bit higher. We can use them as a reference, but in order to understand that maybe some of the sounds, right, some of the sounds are similar to English, so we can build on this similarity and teach, because you're becoming teachers of English, right? To understand and focus on the differences, the sounds that are not present in Spanish. Okay, we're going to consider these 5 criteria: the length, the height, the position of the tongue, the lip rounding, and the tenseness to describe the vowel sounds in this chart, okay? So let's start with this sound, which is E. Imagine you are smiling and you say E, and you're so happy because you're pronouncing E, and E makes you happy. It makes you incredibly happy. E. Wow, what a wonderful sound to say. E, E, okay? So you spread your lips, you feel the tension, and you say E, because it's not the same when you say feet as when you say fit. When you say beach, and when you say bitch. When you say, I don't know what else, but there are many examples that we're going to cover. Now let's focus on the description. In terms of the 5 criteria to describe vowel quality, or the qualities of a vowel sound, the position of the tongue in connection to this sound is, let's see if I can add something here. Can we give it a no color? Okay, thank you. Can we write on it? Thank you. Can we write and see what we're writing? Let me see if I can see it. Can we make it bigger? A little bit bigger, maybe? Can we spread it? Okay. Usually you see this symbol like this. You usually see a colon after, right? Which implies that this is a long sound, a long vowel sound. And you see this between slashes, which it's indicating that we're dealing with a phonemic symbol. Okay. Can we get rid of the? Yeah, can we get rid of the line? Okay, good. So let's focus on this one. The position of the tongue is front. So when you produce e, usually the lips are sorry, the tongue is closer to the teeth. E, and it's really high. E. Your tongue is almost touching the roof of the oral cavity, the upper part of the oral cavity. E. Okay, so it's E is a high front vowel sound. If you remember, the colon implies that the sound is long, at least longer than this one, right? Which is the counterpart. In terms of lip rounding, as you can tell, E is not produced with your lips shaped in a circle because they are spread. E, right? So it's an unrounded vowel sound. Unrounded vowel sound. So we have talked about position of the tongue, which is front, the height, which is high, the length, which is long, the lip rounding, it's unrounded. All of the rounded vowel sounds are here. And I think we're missing the lip tension, I guess, which is tense. What are we missing? Is that it? Sorry. Now, if you compare these, I'm going to get this the same thing. I'm going to same thing, please. That's my wish. Then I'm going to put it here. But I'm going to get rid of this, right? Nope. Okay. There we are. So if we focus on this one, we could tell that in terms of the position of the tongue, it's also high because it's in the upper section. A little bit lower than E. E is a little bit lower. Still front high, right? So E and I are both high and front vowel sounds. But if we compare them, we could say that when you produce I is a little bit lower than E and a little bit less frontal. If we say, is this a tense vowel sound or a lax vowel sound? We remember this rectangle and we see that it's a lax vowel sound. And actually when you produce it, when you produce this sound, you say I as fit, lid, tip, tip. So you feel that your lips are not tense but lax. Okay, so this is tense and this is lax. Okay, in terms of the lip rounding, when you say I as in tip, your lips are not rounded. So we would call this an unrounded vowel sound. Okay, so if we describe these, we could say is also a high and front vowel sound, not as high and frontal as E, but still a high front vowel sound, is short in terms of length, is lax in terms of tension of the lips, and it's an unrounded. So as a summary, we could say that this vowel sound is high, front, lax, short, and unrounded. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the words that you can find. I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I'm projecting this. I do apologize if you're not seeing this. You should be seeing a PowerPoint now with the sound E in several words, okay? Such as see, tea, flee, peas, beach, teach, lead, read, beak, peak, leak, freak, deal, meal, etc., etc., etc. So you may find a pattern here that whenever you find the combination of graphemes, the letters E and A, E and A, E and A, the pronunciation would be E, as in the third row. Reveal, seal, steal, beam, cream, scream, team, beam, lean, clean. So whenever you produce this vowel sounds, and I'm sure you're going to study and you're going to repeat them, you're going to make a big smile and you're going to spread your lips. Next row, please, release, increase, tease, meet, beat, heat, beneath, breathe, creature, and leave. Now, there are some exceptions, of course, to the rule, because whenever you are producing a word like these ones, for example, you're not going to say deed, right? This one you're going to read as dead. So that's what's interesting about phonetics and phonology, that sometimes you may find a pattern, but the pattern may not be 100% of the times effective and correct. Okay. All right. So I'm going to share the PowerPoint presentation again, and I want you to repeat loud and clear the words that I'm going to highlight. Okay. So turn on your microphones, please. Turn on your microphones. I'm going to highlight some, and I want you to read them aloud. Ready? And
Yes.
Deal.
Deal.
Beneath.
Beneath.
Beneath. Beach. Flee.
Free.
Clean.
Me.
Beneath.
Read.
Beat. Creature.
Creature.
Meal.
Meal.
Beach.
Beach. Peak. Breathe. Sleep. Reveal. Lead. Tea. Relief.
Breathe.
Lead.
Lead.
Scream.
Breathe.
Breathe. Heap.
Even.
In. Breathe. Be. Still.
Beam. Heat. Lead.
Cream. Seal.
Seal. Tease.
good. You earned a happy face. Very good. Good job. Good job. Clap for you. Clap for you. All right. Good. So some of the complexities come when you have to produce the combination of what we call minimal pairs. So, for example, I don't know if you can read this PowerPoint presentation with the two sounds together. E and E. E and E. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we have did and deed. Can you say it, please? Did and
Did.
deed.
Deed.
Feel, feel.
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 Feed.
Fit,
Feet.
feet.
Fit. Feet.
Green, green.
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 Hit, heat.
Hit.
Heat.
Is, ease.
Is.
Ease.
Mit, meet.
Meet.
Meat.
Slip, sleep.
Slip.
Sleep.
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 Okay, now you on your own, please.
Bit. Beat.
Feed.
Perfect. Next one.
Bit.
Beach.
Beach.
At
Each.
Jean.
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 Again, please. Gin, jean.
Jean.
Good. Next one.
Green.
Green.
Greed.
Here.
Heat.
Hill.
Heel. L. Eel. Tail. Steel. Heel.
Good job. I'm going to select or highlight as a pair, and you're going to read both. All right. This is what we call minimal. Exactly. Minimal. It's going to take forever to write this word. It's going to take forever. Forever. Minimal.
Tail.
No, I'm suffering with this. Minimal pairs. Exactly. So, finally, okay. So, so with minimal pairs, you have a couple of words, in which only one sound is different, right? In this case, for example, keep and keep. The only different sound is the vowel sound in the middle. So that's why this is called a minimal pair. Okay, you on your own. Remember, the first one here on the left is laxed, short, kip, kip, kip. This one is tense, long, keep,
Keep.
keep. You smile, keep. No, smile, keep.
Keep.
Exactly, exactly. Okay, so let's start. You on your own. Ready? And
Lip.
Leap.
wonderful.
Beat.
Beat.
Remember, it's bid, not bed. Okay, bid and bead.
Bid.
Next one.
Beat. Face.
Peace.
Good.
Pitch.
Peace.
Again, please.
Pitch.
Peace.
Okay. It's not just that the sound is long. Okay. It's not that the song is long. Okay. It's not that. Okay. Let's say long. Let's say the teacher wants me to say this long sound. I'm going to say e. No. It's the quality of the sound is different. Okay. Here it's relaxed. Right? Pitch, 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 pitch.
Pitch.
Right, pitch,
Beach.
pitch,
Pitch.
pitch,
Beach.
pitch, peach, pitch, peach, pitch, pitch, peach,
Pitch.
peach.
Beach.
Exactly. In the second one, you feel that your lips are spreading, are tense. Peach. Okay.
Beach.
Okay. Three more. Ready? And
Leak.
yes. Wonderful.
Sin.
Again, please.
Sin.
Excellent.
Scene.
Wonderful. Last one.
Pick.
Peak.
Again, please.
Pick.
No, again, please.
Pig.
Pig.
Okay, the first one, pick. Pick.
Pig.
Exactly. Pick.
Pig.
And
Pig.
exactly. Exactly. Now, if you saw, I went from left to right. So you went like this, right? Pig, pig. You said piss, peas. Now I'm going to go from right to left. So you start with a word on the right first and then the word on the left. Okay, I don't know if I made myself clear, but let's use this as an example. Ready? And sick. Wonderful.
Sin.
Wonderful.
Beach.
Excellent. Sorry. I'm learning how to use. Cheek. Check. Exactly. Now pay attention to the direction. Okay, you can. I'm going to go from left to right or from right to left. Okay. Okay. Let's see.
Meat.
Again, please. Neat. Wonderful.
Reason.
Reason.
Exactly.
Reason.
Exactly.
Cheat. Shit.
Exactly.
Still.
Yo.
Good.
Tin. Ten.
Wonderful.
Meal.
Again, please.
No.
Meal.
Ya lo dije elegir.
I feel that you're saying meal. Okay, and it's not a matter of length only. Okay, it's a
Meal.
matter of
Meal.
quality. Exactly, meal. Exactly.
Meal.
Try again, please.
Meal.
Meal.
Exactly. Let's try the last one.
Bees.
Bees.
This. Bees.
Exactly. Bees. Okay. So in this minimal pairs, the second word has a longer sound, but the length is not the only quality that's different. Okay, this is a long sound, but it's also more tense, right? More tense than this one, which is a lax vowel sound. Okay, so well, there are more exercises. We're going to describe this. Okay. We're gonna take a 5-minute break. Okay. Go and get something to drink. Stretch your 5 minutes. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ya, ¿quién fue? Ya, ¿quién fue? No la hagas, me río de verdad. ¿Terapia de la risa o qué weá? Voy. Por favor. No, el 5 minutos.
Animation.
Sin ketchup.
Carnaval.
Patrick, respeta, por favor.
Tamara, respeta tú. Respétate.
Bueno, cabros,
Hola, hola, hola. ¿Habló el Álvaro?
Puta.
Pues lo que tuvo que hacer el primer día de cuarentena. 5 minutos después.
All right. That's that's the mood that I want you to be in the class. You see? That's the mood. All right. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over 2 more vowel sounds. We're going to describe them, but this time I want you to describe them first, and then I'm going to confirm your answers. Okay, I'm going to confirm the description that you're going to make. Let's review again the. Okay, we were describing these 2 vowel sounds, E and I, right? When we were using, are you seeing the PowerPoint that I'm sharing with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So remember that among the criteria that we can use to describe a vowel sound or the quality of a vowel sound, we talk about length, we talk about height, we talk about position of the tongue, we talk about lip rounding and tenseness of the lips. So when we refer to length, we mean if the vowel sound is long or short. In the case of these two, E would be the long one, E would be the short one. In terms of height, we can describe a vowel sound saying this is a high vowel sound, a mid vowel sound, or a low vowel sound. In the case of these two, both of them are high, but E would be a bit higher than E. If we compare this one with the A, of course, this one would be a low vowel sound, right? Low means that the tongue goes to the bottom of the oral cavity. High, that is, the tongue goes to the roof of the oral cavity. The roof, the bottom. Remember that this vowel quadrilateral sort of represents a mouth, right? Then the position of the tongue implies how close the tongue is to the teeth or to the back of the oral cavity. So when we refer to the position of the tongue, we describe a vowel sound as front, central, or back. In this case, for example, this is a front vowel sound, and U is a back vowel sound, right? In the case of these two, both of them are front, right? Even though E would be a little bit more frontal, being closer to the teeth than E. Okay, then in connection to or in relation to the lip rounding, which refers to the shape of the lips when you're producing the sound, if they make a circle or are shaped as a circle, they are what we call rounded lips. And if they are not rounded but spread or neutral, we call this unrounded. Unrounded. In the case of these two, both of them are unrounded, and basically we have only 4 rounded vowel sounds. Okay, 4 of them. The rest, all of them unrounded. And in connection to the tension of the lips or tenseness of the lips can be spread, lax, or even neutral. If we compare these two sounds, E will be considered spread or tense, right? Spread or tense vowel sound, and this will be considered a lax vowel sound. This rectangle can help you to identify which the tense vowels are, the ones in the white area, and the ones in the gray area are going to be considered lax vowel sounds, all right? Now, is it clear that this vowel quadrilateral represents the oral cavity? Is it clear that, yeah, is it clear that we have so far 5 different criteria to describe the vowel quality?
Yeah, teacher.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, so
Yes.
what I want you to do is I want you to use this criteria: length, height, position of the tongue, lip rounding, and tenseness, and I want you to try and describe 2 sounds. Okay? The first one is this one, a, and then a, which is a short a. This one is called a trap vowel, just like the type of music, right? Trap. trap vowel. And you can find it in words like cat, cat, like the animal, right? So this vowel is called a, trap. This one is a short vowel sound, which some phoneticians call the wedge. The wedge, and even some people call it carrot. So when we talk about the wedge or the carrot, it's taking forever. We are going to refer to this symbol, and this symbol represents a, as for example in hut, 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 hut. When you say the verb come, come, come here, come here, come here, come. When you say, for example, cup coffee, a cup, cup, a cup of coffee. And this one is called a trap vowel. Trap is when you say cat, when you say that, when you say hat, the one that you wear, right, on top of your head. A hat, I'm wearing a hat. I'm wearing a cap, 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 cat, hat. So I want you to describe the trap, which is this symbol that represents the sound a that you can find in cap, hat, cat. And I want you to describe this sound, this represented by this symbol, which is called the wedge or the carrot, that you can find in words like hut or like cut, like when you have a wound, when you had an accident and your finger is bleeding, so you cut your finger, cut, cut. Or when you are drinking a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, cup, okay? So take 5 minutes and describe these two vowel sounds, the trap and the wedge, please. Do you have any questions about what you have to do? That awkward silence is killing me. Do you have any questions? No?
No.
Okay, all right.
No.
Take 5 minutes and...
No.
All right. We're gonna keep the... Okay. All right. Let's see who's in the house. Take a look at some of the people here. We got, I don't think there are 37 students. Are there? Maybe. Okay. Katy Aceta, is that right? Are you here? Are you in the room? Are you in the chat room?
Yes, I'm here.
You are here. All right, wonderful. So
Yep.
So the task was to describe to try to describe two vowel sounds, right? One of them was the trap, and the other one was the wedge. Which one would you like to choose? The trap or the wedge?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to
I
ask
have
you to
both, so
try the trap. Okay?
the trap.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Think.
Well, it's it's around the lips
Yes, unrounded.
sound. Yep.
What else?
Long length.
Low, all right.
Long length. Lax tensiness.
Lax, all right.
Yep. It's an and I have a question because I have an problem or I think with hate and tenseness.
Okay. So in terms of height, we can say that if you're, I don't know if I'm sharing the presentation with you or not, with you all. Can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. So if you see the symbol representing the sound a, we see that is at the bottom, right? So we would consider this a low vowel sound. Because the tongue goes to the bottom when you say cab, cat, hat. It's placed at the bottom, not like this one, almost reaching the roof of the mouth. So yes, in terms of height, it's going to be considered low vowel sound. And the other question, Katy, was the length?
The tenseness.
The tenseness. All right. In general terms, short sounds are lax, and long sounds are tense. So considering that a is a short sound, we're going to consider it lax vowel sound. Lax. Okay. So to sum up, you said that the trap is
It's unrounded lip sound.
unrounded. Okay. So the trap is unrounded. What else?
It's a long length.
Sorry, you said unrounded. You said long.
Yes. Lax in tenseness.
Lax. Okay.
In position of tongue, central.
Central. You think? Okay. If we see the diagram, we see these lines, right? For example, we see a line here, and we see another line here. So this line divides the vowels which are considered back vowels. The ones in between these two lines are considered central vowel sounds, and the ones from this line to the rest of the vowel diagram are considered front. So probably we should consider this one front vowel sound. Okay, front, because your tongue does not go back, but it's almost almost on top of your bottom lips. So probably front would be. And in terms of height, you said low. Yes. Okay.
Low. Yes.
Exactly. So the let me try to draw this symbol here. Oh no.
Teacher,
Okay.
I have a question.
You have a question. I'm listening.
Oh, sorry. Is it long or short?
Usually long and short is quite orthodox. I mean, in general terms, long vowel sounds are the ones that are also tense. So tense and long is sort of a match, right? That they go together.
But this one is lax, so
And
it
this one is
shouldn't be
lax.
short.
Short and lax. Yes.
Sorry, teacher.
I'm listening.
I consider I consider the trap sound long, comparing to the wedge song.
Right. But if we compare both sounds, probably measuring the sound with a machine, what they do in acoustic phonetics, probably the trap would be longer than the wedge, right? But the trap is going to be considered a short sound, low, front, unrounded, and lax in general terms.
You.
No problem. Now, let's focus on the other one. The other one was the wedge. And anyone interested in describing the sound?
Teacher, can I ask you something?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, please. I'm listening.
I don't know. It's to me.
Kathy, yes.
Yeah. So short length will be always lax tenses or not?
Short vowel sounds, in general terms, are lax. Long sounds are, in general terms, spread or I would say tense. So, for example, long sounds, you have E, A, O, U. Those are the long sounds. And when you represent these sounds, these long sounds with a symbol, you put a colon after the symbol, representing that those sounds are long sounds. And those long sounds are, all of them are tense. So yes, there is a correlation between tenseness and length, and muscular effort as well, because we tend to use more muscular effort or energy when we produce E as when we produce a lax sound and also a short sound. So let's take a look at someone who wants to be a volunteer. Think okay for your participation.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Anyone interested in describing the wedge or carrot?
I can do it if you hear me.
Yes, I can. Who are you?
Sara.
Sara Cartes?
Yes.
Okay, Sara Cartes, go ahead, please.
With the same vowel or?
With the wedge,
Okay.
as in come, shut.
Yeah. And in length, I think is short.
Okay.
In terms of age is mid.
Say height. Height.
Height
Yes.
is
Because
mid. And
Kate is a really bad word, right? Okay. Height is you said height is
mid.
mid. Excellent. Excellent.
The position of the tongue is central.
Okay.
It is unrounded. And the tenseness is lax.
Exactly. That's correct. So to recap, the wedge would be, you said short,
Yes.
you said
Mid.
mid, you said
Central.
central,
Unrounded.
unrounded,
And lax.
and lax. Okay. So if you get a question like this in one of the quizzes that we will have at some point in the future, compare the trap and the wedge. Find the similarities and differences in terms of vowel quality. What are the similarities between the trap and the wedge? Both of them are
Short length.
short. You just say short, right? Short. Both of them are short. What else?
Both
They are
are
both
unrounded
unrounded.
lips.
Both are unrounded. And
Rounded.
Lax.
And
Both are lax.
both are lax, exactly.
Lax.
What are the differences?
One is low and the other one is mid.
Exactly.
height.
One is low. The height, exactly. One of them is low and the other one is mid. And
One is front and
position
the
of the
other is
tongue.
central.
exactly. One is front, the other is central in terms of position of the tongue. Exactly. Wonderful. Great. Good job. Good job. Good job. Clap for you. Pat in the back. Pat in the back.
Thank you.
No, wonderful. Good job. Because you know why? You are applying the knowledge into one exercise in which you have just recently been exposed to. So that is wonderful. That is wonderful. Okay. Have you ever used Zoom?
Yes. With you.
Yes.
With me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the first session.
Yes.
Is that good? I don't know. Okay. What I want you to do, not now and not with me, I want you to use either Teams or Zoom to practice some dialogues that I would like to refer to. If you look at this pronunciation exercises PDF file, that I think it's in the LMS, you can find these dialogues on page number 6. And you can practice this one, busy in the kitchen and waiting's not for me. You can practice crackle, crackle, galactic static. And you can practice the bungalows flooded the bungalows flooded. I mean, you can practice the dialect focused on I and E, and you can practice the dialect focused on A, the trap, and the wedge. Okay, these dialects may look or sound quite meaningless at some point. Some of them are interesting though, but the point is that you can find several of the sounds in the dialogue, in the words. For example, the trap. Do you? Sorry, let's start with the title. Crackle, 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 galactic, galactic, static, static. So you can find 4 traps here. Jack, another trap. Do you have to bang and slam on that piano like that? And Jack says, I'm practicing for a new album. It's smashing. So the point is, what I want you to do is I want you to practice first individually and then in pairs, right? With these 4 dialects. If you have questions about how to pronounce these words, what you can do is you can copy and paste. I can't copy and paste now, but you can copy and paste. And what you can do is you can go to a website that converts text to speech. So, for example, you can copy this, you can paste it here, which is not working now. But the point is, you can click here, and then you can listen to the dialogue. You can type it, right? You can type it yourself, or you can copy and paste the dialogue. Okay, that's one option. So you can listen to the whole dialogue or some of the passages in the dialogue. Or the other option is that you go to an online dictionary and you can find, for example, if you don't know how to pronounce, let's say this word, and you think it's fluted, you go to a website, to an online dictionary, and you will find that this one is flooded with a wedge, flooded. Okay, so you can go to an online website, sorry, to an online dictionary, or you can go to a website that convert text to speech. You can actually Google text to speech, and you will find several websites that can you can copy and paste a text, and you can have someone, of course, sometimes it's quite a robotic voice that you will hear, but sometimes you get a very natural, native-like speaker who will read the dialogue for you. After you go through this process individually, I want you to get together to practice, and then, for example, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to show you the. Okay. For example, I have Alvarin and Angela Castro. I guess they could be. They could practice together, right? Camila Jorquera and Camilo Vélez, Carla Muñoz and Carla Trujillo, Claudia Sáez and Claudio Ávila, Cristóbal Soto and Dafne Yáñez, Emilia Espinosa and Francisco Villagra, Guillermo Martínez and Ignacio Sandoval, Javiera Ávila and Javiera León, Javiera Triviños and Joaquín Pino, Josefa Cubillos and Katia Sotomayor, Katy Aceta and Lucas Bustos, and Leonardo San Martín and Macarena Vargas. So the idea is that you first practice these dialogues in pairs, and then you can practice in pairs switching roles. So you start being A, and when you finish the dialogue, you switch and you become B. Okay? Next class, I'm going to have some of you to read the dialogues, and I would like to check if you practiced or not with the sounds E, I, A, A. The long E, the short I, the trap, A, and the wedge. Okay? So, do you have access to the LMS? Do you all have access to the LMS?
Teacher,
I do.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
can I say something else?
Of course.
In the list that you just read, and I was not there because you forgot some of us.
Yes.
What do you mean I forgot some of you?
Right
There's
behind
more.
that list, it says 13 more, and I'm part of those 13.
You're part of the... Okay, let me...
Right there.
Oh, I'm truly sorry. Okay, I'm really sorry.
Don't worry.
I'm really sorry. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave you out. So Leonardo San Martin, I think I read with Macarena Vargas, right? Then I think we should continue with Maria Paz, with Maria Rebeco, Martina Jovanovic and Matias Bustos, Natalie Rebolledo and Ninoshka Galás, Pablo Rojas and Paolo Tapia, Patricio Santander and Sara Cartes, Tamara Marti and Valentina Leighton, and Vanessa Núñez will join one of the groups, one of the pairs, okay, because we don't have an even number, but an odd number, okay? And what's the idea? I'm showing you your, well, sometimes you get the email address, like natalie.rebolledo@alu.ucm.cl. So talk through the chat, give yourselves the email address, the way you're going to contact each other, through Teams, through Zoom or any other, Skype, any other, and so you can have the option to practice, okay? Because practice is it's really what matters. I sent the pronunciation exercises PDF file through the chat. Let me know if you got it. Did you receive it?
No yet.
Not yet?
Teacher,
Yes, sir? I'm
I
listening.
just sent it.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
I just sent it to our WhatsApp group.
Oh, appreciate it. I appreciate it. So I really thank you for that, for taking up the initiative. And I'm going to go and upload it to the LMS as well, so you can all have access if you didn't get it through the WhatsApp group. Okay. All right. So for next class, I want you to practice first individually and then in pairs these 4 dialogues. Okay. Do you have any questions before we finish the session?
Yes. Can you listen to me?
Yes, I can.
I was wondering because I checked last night about the class, the recording class, because you said last class that you were going to share a link, a drive link, and you were going to upload it there, but it isn't on the LMS. So I was wondering where it is. I have been in these two past classes, but I don't know if I will be in every single one of them. And if you're not uploading the recording classes, I will miss the material and the subjects and all of it, and I don't want to. So I was. Yes.
Okay, I have recorded some sessions. I recorded a session with the course pin 227, section 1. I think I haven't uploaded the link to the LMS. I have the link. Let me see how get a shareable link. Okay. Going back to okay. If you take a look at the chat room, you could see that I posted a link for YouTube. That's the video that I uploaded to the to YouTube. I'm sharing the link through the chat, and but I've recorded only 2 classes, one in ELT 115 and the other one in PIN 227. And this would be my second session being recorded. So I'm going to upload the second session too. I'm going to keep doing it. But check the link, okay? Check the link that I inserted in the chat section.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem, not at all. Anytime. Any other questions or comments?
I have a question, teacher.
Yeah, shoot.
with that concept.
Which
with the last class.
Okay. Which concepts? I'm sorry, I'm not following you.
Yeah, no, it's I had a problem with my mic. I don't understood the concept complementary distribution. Okay.
Complementary distribution is in one of the
yeah, but the meaning said
okay, that one. Complementary distribution, mutually exclusive, non-overlapping, when sounds do not occur in the same phonetic environment. When you were reading this slide, right? Okay, so yeah.
I guess Alvaro has a question, but his mic is not working.
Okay, but in brief, the complementary distribution refers to a sound can occur in specific circumstances, in specific situations, and it may not occur in this with the same characteristics in a different place. For example, the sound p in initial position, as in pat, pool, peak, has a specific feature, which is aspiration. You say pat, pull, pick, right? So this aspiration or plosion is present only in initial position. When the sound p is not in initial position, but for example, in the middle or at the end of a word, it loses that plosion feature. Is spat, spool, speak. It's not spat, spool, speak. Okay, so the fact that they are in complementary distribution is that whenever you find a sound in like a p in initial position or a plosive sound, it could be p or it could be t, right? Or k. It's plosive and has aspiration, but aspiration is not present when the sound or phoneme is in middle position or final position. So if it's in the initial position, it has aspiration. If it's not, it doesn't have aspiration. So it's complementary. Si va aquí, tiene la característica. Si no va aquí, no la tiene. Pero nunca va a pasar, it will never happen, that you find the sound p in the middle or at the end of a word with aspiration. I don't know if I'm making myself clear. Si va en posición inicial, tiene ese fenómeno que es la plosión, que en inglés se llama aspiration. Si va en posición intermedia o final, no tiene esa plosión, la pierde, o es en grado menor.
Pero siempre así.
Ajá, ajá. Por eso que se llama complementary distribution, es decir, no hay un, ¿cómo se dice? Overlapping. No es que en el contexto de sonido inicial no vaya a ser plosiva o no vaya a tener aspiration. Siempre que esté en posición inicial va a tener lo que en inglés se llama esta condición de aspirated sound o aspiration. Es decir, hay una plosión. Si usted se coloca la mano al frente de su boca, va a sentir un puff de aire. Va a ser pat, pull, pick. Pero si coloca ese sonido p en posición intermedia o posición final, se pierde la plosión. Por ejemplo, si uno dice stop, stop, stop. No, uno no dice stop, p, stop, p. Dice stop, stop, stop. Y se pierde esa plosión. Entonces ya no represento ese sonido p. Cuando digo stop, no lo represento con esa H que está ahí arriba, ¿cierto? Que significa que el sonido es lo que se llama en inglés an aspirated sound, with aspiration, o sea, con una plosión. P.
A mí.
Entonces, solamente si está en posición inicial, tiene esa característica. Si no está en posición inicial, o está, por ejemplo, posición intermedia, posición final, ya no tiene ese fenómeno de aspiration o una plosión que en inglés el sonido p, t, k tienen, ¿cierto? En español no lo tenemos, pues. En español no decimos pásame el pote de no sé qué. No tenemos esa plosión. Porotos, esa. Entonces, en inglés está ese fenómeno que se llama aspiration, pero que está presente en consonantes plosivas en posición inicial, pero no en posición intermedia ni en posición final. Entonces, solamente cuando está aquí, tiene esa característica. Por eso es complementaria la distribución. Solamente cuando está aquí la tiene. Si no está ahí, si está en otra posición, no tiene esa característica. ¿Ok?
Gracias, profesor.
Alvarin, do you have a question?
No.
No questions. All right. Any other question, guys?
No questions.
No questions. I want you to take this very seriously. Practice individually. If you don't know how to, remember that you are becoming the best version of you as a professional educator. So remember, if you don't know how to pronounce a word, go to an online dictionary. Check the word somewhere, okay? Copy and paste the dialogues in a text-to-speech website. But don't go through life being a student in an English pedagogy program inventing pronunciations, creating and being very original about pronouncing words in English, okay? If you don't know, check it out, look it up, find it in an online dictionary, okay? Use the resources. Don't become creative whenever it comes to pronounce words, okay? Think about someone who's an English-speaking person using Spanish, and then when that person makes several mistakes or creates a pronunciation of a word funny, people just feel, you know, entertained by that. You don't want people to feel entertained about what you want to be taken seriously, okay? So practice individually first the dialogues, and then get together and practice them in pairs. So I'll see you next session. I guess it's going to be on Wednesday in the morning.
Yes.
Okay, and we're going to start with your dialogues. At some point next Wednesday, we are probably having a quiz, okay? That's going to be next Friday, not this one. Not Wednesday 15th, but we're talking about Wednesday the 22nd, and probably a listening quiz, okay? Don't tell anybody I told you that. Okay, it was good to see you. I'll see you next Wednesday, okay?
Okay.
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 Goodbye,
Okay,
everyone.
mister.
Bye.
See you.
Take care.
Goodbye,
Bye-bye.
mister.
Hi, Mister.
Bye.
Bye.
See you around. Stay
Bye.
safe. Bye-bye. And wash
Stay
your
at home.
hands.
Stay at home.
I will. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.